This photograph was entrusted to me in 1966 after my grandmother died. Luckily, in 1974 I asked my great-aunt Queen Wilkinson to identify the people in the photograph. As a young child, I remember 9 of the people in the photograph, kindly elderly people. The first to emigrate from Hillesley, near Wootton-under-Edge, Gloucestershire, was my great-great-uncle Ted Stinchcombe, 1866-1929. He came to New York in 1885 and made his way to the West Coast, where he married an Irish woman, Ruth Gamble, who had also emigrated in 1885. He served as an informal sponsor for the family group. He and Ruth put family up when they arrived. Ted was head groundskeeper at Essendale Hospital and got jobs for his relatives. John Richard Smith, 1890-1961, my grandfather, came next. He's in the top row, in the center, with his arms folded. He looks proud, and he had good reason to be. This was a red-letter day, as I will explain. He was about 22 then, and he died when I was 5. Jack Smith, or Dick as he was known, came with his cousin Bert Stinchcombe. These two came to Canada in 1909 and built a little house in Burnaby on Victory Street, in advance of other members of the family emigrating. It's still there, last time I looked. This is my grandfather's family, the Smith Chapel family. My great-grandmother, Emily Ann Stinchcombe, 1868 to 1929, had 4 sons and a daughter by her first marriage to Fred Smith, 1867 to 1899. He died in his early 30s, and she later married Dan Chappell, 1874-1920. They had 2 more daughters. Through my genealogy quest, I discovered that there are layers of meaning in this photograph. Generally, everyone was related somehow through the Stinchcombe, Smith, Chappell, or Warrett lines. They all came from the same little Cotswold village, Hillesley, Gloucestershire, or married into that group. They made transatlantic trips between 1885 and 1912, mostly between 1909 and 1912, in 9 family groups or individual trips. They stayed in Canada once they arrived, transplanting themselves in Burnaby, Coquitlam, and Vancouver. Archival records inform this photograph. They flesh out the names, life dates, occupations, residence in England and Canada, First World War service, marriages, and offspring. Passenger lists identified the ships they traveled on, the succession, and the grouping of emigrants. Here is the order of arrival. In 1885, Edward Bent Stinchcombe and Ruth Isabella Stinchcombe. 1st of May 1909, Empress of Ireland, John Richard Smith and Cuthbert Stinchcombe. Later, the Empress of Ireland sank with a loss of over 1,000 lives. 25th June 1910, on the Ionian, John Gamble, presumably Ruth's brother. 4th August 1910, Royal Edward, the Collis family. 29th November 1910, William Warrett. 24th of May 1911, Royal George, Smith brothers Fred and Reg, and the Allway family. 26th July 1911, Royal Edward, another Smith brother, Les. 28 April 1912, on the Tunisian, my great-grandmother and the balance of the Smith Chapel family and the Purnell family. And then the balance are 2 brothers, last name Cook, who I don't know much about, and Mr. Collis. That leaves Kelly the dog, who's likely Canadian-born.